Alright guys, bug report video tonight. This affects FreedomTX running on the TBS Tango 2. Specifically, anybody that's using the adapter for the external modules. And the quick version of the problem is that the external module doesn't matter what rate it's requesting packets at. The FreedomTX firmware is only sending them at 50 Hertz. So if you're running a module on the back here that supports something faster than 50 Hertz, for example, Express LRS, or even if you're running like a full-size Crossfire 2-watt module and you're requesting packets at 150 Hertz, the fastest that the firmware is going to supply it at is 50 Hertz. So even if you're transmitting the packets at 150 Hertz over the air, the actual RC data coming from the sticks going into the module is only ever going to be at 50 Hertz. So we'll just quickly demonstrate how it's supposed to work. So in this case, I'm using the internal Crossfire transmitter in the Tango. So we'll just quickly power up this receiver that I've got here on the bench.
Telemetry recovered.
And you see we've got the blue light on the Tango indicating that we're transmitting at 150 Hertz. And what we're going to do is just quickly arm this flight controller and do a quick stick flick to get some black box logging. So the logging the debug mode that we're using for logging is RC smoothing rate, and that'll show us the RC command data as well as the rate that we're receiving packets over the air. So we'll go and have a look at what the log looks like on the computer, and that should show us what 150 Hertz is supposed to look like, and then we'll come back and see what that looks like with an external module connected. Alright, so we're looking at the black box log that we just took. Up the top here we've got our sticks, which is RC command, and down the bottom we've got the RX refresh rate, which is how fast we're getting packets. You can see our average RX refresh rate is around 6.76 milliseconds, which is our 150 Hertz packet rate as we expect. And up the top we're getting nice smooth stick motion. This is just pulling the stick down and releasing it. You can see that the curves are nice and smooth here because we're getting packets at 150 Hertz. So this is all good and working as we expect. So let's go and try the exact same thing using an external module connected to the Tango instead. Okay, so we're back on the bench again, this time with the Crossfire Micro TX external module connected into the module bay using patch wires. So this is just powered by the Tango and connected to the S port output from the Tango's FreedomTX firmware. And so if we plug our receiver in again,
Telemetry recovered.
Cool, so we've got our blue light on the Micro TX this time indicating that we're in 150 Hertz mode. So this should be sending packets at 150 Hertz over the air to the receiver again. So let's quickly take another log. So we'll arm and do our stick flicks, disarm, and go have a look at the log. Alright, so again we're looking at the black box log, this time from the external module. And you can see we're still getting our packets at 150 Hertz. So the packets are being sent from the Tango to the receiver at a rate of 150 Hertz as we expect. The problem here is with the RC command data. So you see for that same maneuver where I pulled the stick down, we're getting a really jagged decline here, and this back and forth is really jagged here and cut at the tops. And if we place a marker on these, we can actually see the frequency that RC data is being sent. So if we place a marker here and go to the next peak here, you can see up here 50 Hertz. So this stick data is only being transmitted at 50 Hertz, even though we've selected a 150 Hertz packet rate. So what this means is the external module adapter on the Tango 2 is basically useless unless you plan on running 50 Hertz, and that's it ever with your external module.